The message at the cemetery entrance is clear.
Ribs,
lots of food, lots of fun, and lots of... A battle over booze is brewing.
Behind the card stands, packages, and gifts is something you might call a local landmark.
This business has been here since...
To the Mayfield Express Lube just behind me. Let me step out. We'll take a closer look. When that severe weather hit, it tore the roof off. It sent the concrete blocks flying in, glass from the garage door shattering. In fact, there was actually a car in there, still in there. It is the owner's, who, by the way, is suffering a broken tailbone tonight. Two other...
Behind the card stands, packages, and gifts is something you might call a local landmark.
This business has been here since 1892. I mean, that's the hardest thing about it is closing a almost 130-year-old business.
Hummus Drug started in downtown Metropolis, survived the flood and a new operation before moving to Main Street. David Martin's worked behind the pharmacy counter since 1982. The locally owned store that's been run by 3 different families will soon close its doors for good. Martin says it's forced to close because the state's behind on Medicaid payments for prescriptions.
We've had to liquidate in order to pay the people that we owe. We've had money borrowed for years just to operate on, and they're, I mean, it's worse now than it's ever been.
So to recoup those losses, Martin sold his business to Walgreens. That means after Tuesday, his customers will have to walk a little further up Market Street. He promises to make the transition as easy as possible. Many, though, say it's not going to be the same.
It's just like a family, and whenever you come in, you enjoy coming in because you know you're coming in to see somebody that you know and that you feel welcome around.
That welcome spirit's something Pearl Davis and others say they'll miss the most. Here you're treated like family, and no one knows that more than Barbara Adcock.
My mother called here one day and told him that I would be coming to pick up her prescriptions, and he said, "Thanks for the warning." I don't think I'm going to get that at Walgreens.
More than just medicine, this place has served up a little something extra, something no prescription will be able to fill.
This is the euthanasia room. You can see dying dogs lying in pools of their own blood. This cat is loose and roams while these dogs draw their last breath.
They just let them run loose in there.
The video was shot by McCracken County Humane Society employee Jeremiah Robertson. This video shows the same room on a different day. It appears these cats died together in this pile. Robertson says it's not uncommon for dead animals to be left for days, and often in the same room with uncaged live animals. And as if this video isn't disturbing enough, there's the audio captured during euthanasia. It's obvious these animals are in extreme pain.
You know, they bled, they yelped. I've seen them bleed from their mouths, from where he missed the heart and he got them in the lung. It's pretty rough.
Robertson had his friends at Big Wireless take all the video off his cell phone and send it to investigators. He says he had to because talking to his supervisors about his concerns just wasn't working.
And I've tried to discuss things several times with them. They just weren't quite hearing me. They didn't want to hear it.
The more you watch, the worse it gets. Jeremiah still works at the Humane Society and hopes this video creates enough outrage so that things like this never happen again. The message at the cemetery entrance is clear. All flowers must be placed inside a vase, but for some, that will be hard to do because those vases are gone.
It's not right.
Kathy West came to check on her aunt and uncle's marker after hearing someone had stolen several vases from the cemetery. Her loved ones escaped the final insult. She thinks that's only because it was hidden.
Oh, you're kidding.
But others, like 77-year-old Rosa Mae Edwards and her daughter, who came here to visit Rosa's older sister, say just the thought of crooks casing a cemetery makes the grieving process all the more difficult.
Oh no, that's ridiculous. I'm so sad that people would do that.
Police believe money was the motivator.
A brand new vase assembly would cost a grieving family about $250, but thieves are selling these for a fraction of the cost. Right now, scrap bronze is worth about $1.65 per pound, and this weighs right at 8 pounds, so crooks would get $13.20 for one of these.
But multiply that by 30, and you're looking at a $396 payoff. Except, police say the two suspects only cashed in 6 of the vases before they were arrested.
A lot of people would do this and no more than they're getting out of it.
And these family members say nothing's lower than stealing from someone at their final resting place.
It's like their last will, the last testimony here on earth, and they just want peace, and they're not getting it.
Corrosion, rust, and deterioration. That's what we saw after going underneath the Ledbetter Bridge. And today, the Transportation Cabinet released these photos to show the seriousness of the situation.
There comes a point when you want to raise a level of awareness so that people are aware that, yes, there is an issue here without it going too far and really scaring people.
But the people who travel the bridge say the photos are scary.
It's worse than I thought. Yes. A lot worse. Yeah, that's bad.
Every picture highlights a problem from a perspective most drivers would never see.
It makes me not want to drive across it.
Instead of inspecting this bridge every 2 years, now the Transportation Cabinet will send inspectors out here once a month. And if this bridge gets any worse, it could be closed to all traffic.
If we get to a point where they feel that it is dangerous, it'll be closed.
Something drivers like Lori Long don't want to happen.
It's going to be hurting a lot of people's pocketbooks.
But after seeing these pictures, commuters say that may be the only way to make sure no person gets hurt.
Say, Lord have mercy.
A battle over booze is brewing.
I'm a little perturbed by it.
Restaurateur Boone Chambers will tell you the aftertaste makes him nauseous.
They're threatening the livelihood of me, the 40 people I have working for me, and the other restaurants in town that serve alcohol. You're talking about a lot of people possibly losing their job.
He feared this petition would spark this one, which could rescind liquor by the drink, jeopardizing his business once again.
That being my livelihood, I couldn't really risk it, so I agreed to stop petitioning it.
And so did his opposition, Pastor Martin Severns.
If he was willing to put that down, then we would too. And so we came to the agreement to just put it on the table and leave it alone.
But today, Severns and the Keep It Out movement are at it again with a website citing a rise in crime statistics and DUIs after liquor by the drink passed, and then pleading with people to sign a petition.
Inside that courthouse on the judge executive's desk, that's likely where both sets of signatures will end up. But the judge executive says he doesn't like the way this battle is playing out, nor the tactics being used. In fact, he's afraid both sides will end up with hurt feelings.
I'm not familiar with that comment that the judge might have made. I don't know that emotions ran high the last time.
But Chambers feels the agreement was broken and admits he's none too happy.
I'm not going to get in a, pardon my language, a pissing match with them, you know.
Lots of food, lots of fun, and lots of people. Some have hats on their heads, others paint on their face. Just about everyone is a barbecue lover. They are all in hog heaven.
I'm definitely here for the barbecue.
But Amanda Schimmel and friends will have to walk a little more this year just to get to the food and entertainment.
Last year I parked about 2 blocks down and didn't have a lot of trouble getting to the river.
Schimmel calls that a parking problem.
One thing that has helped this year is this. The Big E is gone, and that's opened up hundreds of extra spots, but some say that's still not enough.
You're here. You're here. You got your sticker?
Scott Saxon works traffic control and says this year has been the busiest.
This is handicap, brother.
What, everywhere in here?
This is handicap, all this.
Saxon saves handicap spots for people who need them and spots for vendors. But this year is so busy, he's even had to turn some of those away.
This is a guy I'm sending away to go over to the Carson Center and Park.
Saxon calls it growing pains and says it's bittersweet.
And we need some of these people to pull out of here so I can park the rest that's coming in. Because you know I'm full.
Josh Rusk heard it from his house a couple of streets away.
It sounded like an explosion, and then I heard all the fire trucks, police cars.
Yellow crime scene tape blocks off the charred garage and yard where Jennifer Matthews was burned on about 90% of her body. Neighbors were panicked when they saw the commotion.
I was just worried about her baby and her, because I know when she gets home, it's just them two.
Especially since Matthews told neighbors a man in a ski mask was in her car when she left work and forced her at gunpoint to drive to her house. For now, firefighters believe the fire was set on purpose. They're not ready to release specific details on exactly where it might have started, but news of what happened has neighbors, including John Rusk, on edge.
It's pretty scary just to know that, a couple streets down that this is going on.
And as investigators piece together what happened here, neighbors passing by say their thoughts are with the family. In Waco, Christine Winter, KCEN HD News. Standing ovations, a dozen reminders of his bravery, and emotional, heartfelt recognition for Bob Bearden.
I wish that some guys were here that really deserve this.
3 Corps Acting Commander General William Grimsley is among those inspired by Bearden's heroism.
There's a lot of really cool things about being a commander and a soldier and an officer in the Army, and today ranks right up there at the absolute very top of it.
Bearden parachuted into Normandy on D-Day with the 82nd Airborne Division. Confusion, hand-to-hand combat, outnumbered and out of ammunition. He fought until he was captured by German soldiers.
Colonel Millett said, "Throw down your rifles and come on out." And he saved our lives. I resented it at the moment, but it became very clear that
the 87-year-old's actions moves today's soldiers more than 60 years later.
I guess it motivates you to drive forward and do more and try to be more like someone like him.
For Bearden, the ceremony is a chance to honor the history that shapes us today.
let's watch out for our great America. She's in peril. She's having the heat put on her. But I'll tell you this ain't the first time she's been under the heat.
Just like Audie Murphy, Robert Bearden's war stories fill a book. To D-Day and Back tells the story of a man so many describe as a living legend and a true American hero. At Fort Hood, Christine Winter, KCEN HD News.
Before we get started.